You guys, for the very last time, the content of this podcast is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. We are not licensed therapists, counselors, or mental health professionals. While we aim to provide insightful and helpful discussions, our views and advice are based on personal experiences and general knowledge, not professional expertise. If you are seeking professional mental health support, we encourage you to consult a qualified therapist or counselor, which we are not, even after a season of doing this. Emma, we're here. Welcome back, everybody, to our final episode of Lattes with Lucy, a special bonus series of the Royals of Malibu. And just thank you guys so much for such an amazing first season. Will there be a second season? Only time will tell. But for now, this is the end of our season of Lattes, and we're just so grateful for all of the questions.
I know, I'm so sad. I feel like this was kind of like a form of therapy for me.
Yes.
In a way, talking through other people's problems has kind of made me reflect on like my own life and like wanting to take my own advice more.
Oh my God, like, the amount of times I forgot what I've said on this pod, listened to it a few weeks later once it's out and been like, oh shit, I need to apply my own advice.
Yeah, I mean, by no means are we experts, but regardless, we really appreciate all of you guys writing in and trusting with us with these big things that are happening in your life. And it's been an honor to work with you, Steph, and answer these questions. And we love our traumas more than anything. We're seeing all your DMs about season 3. I promise you we're going to have a very important announcement very soon. So just stay tuned, be patient with us. We really appreciate it.
We really do. And Emma, it's been an utter joy. I feel like I sing your praises just far too much. It's like so cringe, but I'm obsessed with you. I feel like this has been a really amazing back and forth between just like, even just like our age difference and like our different life experiences. Like I feel like we can give really different perspectives on things. And yeah, I really can't stress enough that like it is so brave to write into this show. And like those of you that gave your names, like that's scary. Like I wouldn't necessarily be comfortable doing that. I'd be scared to do that. I think it's really, really so beautiful. And if anything we said helped even a little, we are grateful. And if it didn't help, we're sorry.
I'm really bummed that this is over. This has been so fun for me. You know, I'm always usually behind the mic producing, so it's been fun.
No, literally, it's
pretending to be talent, and like I have a newfound respect for all of the hosts and actors I work with because it is hard.
It is hard, but literally you do it so effortlessly. You are not pretending to be talent. You are talent, and I will never, ever get over that you saw something in me to do this. It's really like this has been absolutely wonderful in every way. I adore you, and you have been so good at like navigating all the many sides of me, the scared, the anxious, the freaking out, the calm and zen, which only appeared, you know, a few times, and just all of it. I feel very supported. I feel very lucky and just so in awe of how wise you are at such a young age. I know you're not that much younger than me, but you are, and you're doing just incredible things. And this is amazing. And we can continue to Lattes with Lucy with each other IRL after this.
Well, and everyone listening to this is the last Lattes with Lucy episode, but remember that Steph just launched her own new podcast called Never Late to the Party. So if you need to continue getting your Steph fix, be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe, you guys. Never too late to the party. It's basically all about what I talk about on here, which is that I'm 33 and single and I feel late to my life, but I'm proclaiming that you're never too late. And so it's kind of like me discovering how to not feel too late by interviewing other people on how they got out of their own way to achieve their dreams and how they see the timing of their lives. And I think there's a lot of like cool advice. So yeah, check it out wherever you're listening to this right now.
And hopefully the next episode you see on this feed is season 3. But until then, let's jump back into the interview with Alyssa McKay. We are back for part 2 with Alyssa McKay. I saw this one come in, and Alyssa, when I found out that you were going to be on this episode, I thought there's no one better to answer this than you. It has to do with like posting online.
Oh my God, this Alyssa.
One, yeah. And you too, Steph. I think
no, this is exciting. I don't post. Go ahead.
You are
I am
a
now.
lot of good
Now I'm a
content now,
TikToker.
yeah.
I literally am so inspired by Alyssa's post. Like I made this, I did for the first time, Alyssa, like, come with me on a trip to Santa Barbara. And I was like, I'm channeling. So you channel your inner Ella, I channel my inner Alyssa McKay.
Oh my God, I love that.
It was great. I was like, can I just say, just to like go on a quick tangent, like filming your, like, it's so funny what we do. And by we, I mean you all the time, me one time. Like, isn't it so hilarious? Like, trying to like film your life, but then in having to film it, you have to kind of like put the camera up and then be like, and then and like, isn't it just so fucking ridiculous? Like, do you feel ridiculous sometimes? And I mean that in the most like supportive way.
No, I do. And also it's weird too, because when I film for like different platforms, even though it's like the same shit, I always feel like when I do my Snapchat, I'm not nervous at all. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Right, like here you are.
But yeah, but when I film a TikTok vlog, I'm always like, how do I start that? Or I'm always like, hey guys. Then I'm like, don't start with hey guys. Are you fucking dumb? Like, you know what I mean? Trying to like sound like myself. And for whatever reason, if I'm filming like a TikTok versus a Snapchat, I can never sound like myself. I'm like, it's Snapchat. Just think of it that way. And no, I always feel stupid. And then I watch it back and I'm like, do people actually want to see this? So I'm with you.
See, we all feel the same way. You have to do a masterclass in social media training for us millennials, but that can be another side hustle to your hundreds. We'll talk about it later. Emma, go take it away.
Okay, so this is Jane, and she's from New York. I am a junior in high school. Recently, I've started posting videos, mostly fashion and get ready with me style, on TikTok. Some of my videos have hit 5-figure views, but most of them do not get that many. I really like editing and creating content regardless. However, my friend at school told me that several girls at school have seen the videos and have been talking trash and making fun of me. It's made me feel cringy, but at the same time, I think they should mind their own business. What should I do?
Never stop posting, number one. I just like, I have people from high school that make fun of me, and I have 10 million followers. Do you know what I mean? So like, yeah. Unfortunately, that aspect never goes away. There's always going to be people making fun of you, but at the end of the day, they're making fun of you because you have the courage to do something that they would never have the courage to do. And just speaking from experience, like I actually saw something the other day and I was like, oh my God, like I resonate with this. It was so corny, but I was just like, oh my God, yay. Like it was like an athlete will never make fun of someone who is just getting started in the gym. And a business owner will never make fun of someone for starting a small business. So it's never the people that are like in the industry doing the thing that are going to look down at you for trying or for getting started or doing something that you like to do. It's always the people that can't do it, to be quite frank, you know what I mean? Or too scared or too embarrassed or whatever the case may be. So, you know, it sucks and it's uncomfortable. But even me, like I post things and I'm like, fuck, this is so fucking cringy. Like I'm okay with this being on TikTok. Am I okay with it on my Instagram? I don't know. But I post it on my Instagram anyway, because at the end of the day, like this is my business. And if you want it to be your business or it's something that you just enjoy doing, you shouldn't let, you know, other people's fear of failure stunt you or stop you from doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly it. I think, you know, who is it? Brene Brown or someone iconic and smarter than me said, you know, like it talks about being in the arena. And it's like, you only want to hear from people that are in the arena. Like anyone outside of the arena, like just have no context for what you're doing. And I think that's exactly it. I've been so horrified even doing this podcast, doing anything, like really putting yourself out there and posturing yourself as a person that wants to be seen. Like when you're seen, you could get rejected. And you know what? Like Alyssa said, until any of those bitches, until any of them, you know, are doing what you're doing, they can literally shut up. And honestly, like it's so corny and obvious, but it's like hurt people. Like they're feeling really insecure. They're feeling like shit about themselves. They're feeling really, really resentful and jealous that they're not brave enough to do what you're doing. And it makes them feel really deliciously safe and secure to just stay over here in the safety outside of the arena, not doing anything and just taking down the people that are. And like Alyssa literally just said, anyone who's down there with you is like, I see you, I support you, keep going.
Yeah. And I publicly endorse you. So show them that.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, like anyone who's a creative or an artist, you have to start somewhere, right? And I think every single person who's successful has had a cringy phase. You know, like that's how you learn. That's how you get better. And if you're afraid of that, you have no business being a creative, in my opinion. Like you have to put yourself, you have to be uncomfortable, and there's always going to be a critic. I mean, I think the fact, what's that saying, like any press is good press, is kind of similar to this. Like if you have haters, you're kind of doing something right. Like great to an extent, but
right.
So the other day, I work at a very fancy restaurant, and I serve a lot of agents and a lot of managers. And the other day I was really beside myself because I was going through something really difficult with like a creative project I was working on. Like, and I just felt like I couldn't figure it out. And I just felt really, really stressed out and really upset. And one of my tables like could tell, which is, you know, I probably should have hit it more, but that's all right. Anyway, this amazing agent at WME literally said to me, she was like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't know like what the issue is, but like I have to tell you, the person that you are going to become in this exact moment to overcome this exact situation is the version of you that's going to like be successful. And I've never heard it phrased that way. Like versus instead of just being like, yeah, bad things happen and like you get stronger. It's like, no. Like not only do bad things happen, but they're happening on purpose so that they create the version of you that you need to be to get to the next level. And I just thought that was such a great way to look at it. Instead of being like, why is this happening to me? And like, woe is me. And like feeling really defeated, feel almost like fired up to get through to the other side. And like had this crazy shifting of things not happen to me, I would never have like had the confidence to just like buckle down, create these TikToks, do these things I'm fucking terrified of, get my shit together. And I feel like that's the version of me that knows how to get their shit together within a crisis, is the version of me that's going to be even more up-leveled a year from today. So I think be grateful for the haters because it's building you into the person you're meant to become.
Absolutely. And I also wanted to like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when I first started on social media, I did these rich girl raps, rich girl skit type videos. When I watch them now, I hate them. I hate when I'm at the dinner table and people are like, I've literally been at dinner tables with executives and they're like, look at this funny video she did. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. It's like the worst. Put it away. I hate it.
I love those videos.
They're iconic. Like, Emma, you reached out to me to like, you know, be a part of TROM because you saw those
That's
videos.
what I found. Yeah, I found those videos.
And, you know, you were like, yeah, like, let's talk to this girl. And even though it's something that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe, like, it opens doors for opportunities. So you have to look at everything you do as like, what can this potentially equal? And if you think it equals opportunity, there's really no harm in putting yourself out there at all. In my opinion, I think it's great. So
I think it's kind of like a numbers game at the end of the day, right? Like the more that you can put out there, eventually it'll come to you. It's a numbers game.
Yeah, Alyssa, in your experience, like, is this kind of stuff a slow burn? Like, I guess, like, you know, were you posting for a while and then they took off, or did they take off like boom right away?
So it's interesting because there's so many ebbs and flows, and especially with short form video creation, the landscape has changed a lot from 2018, which is when I started posting, to now. But I started posting just like casually on Musical.ly, and it was nothing revolutionary. I was just like lip syncing to stuff and doing the whole like, oh, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, doing the thing,
you know what I mean? So it's like that stuff wasn't blowing up. I would lip sync to a few little like movie scenes sometimes, and like a video that I lip synced to Mean Girls got 1 million views. And back in the day, getting a million views on Musical.ly was like, oh shit, like she's famous. You know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
And I just started doing those like rich girl skit videos, which did really well, and those started blowing up, which then led me to doing it in musical form. And I don't know why I did that. People always ask, where did you come up with the inspiration? I'm like, I don't know, I just woke up and did it. Like, I just was bored. It was COVID. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like a lot of it happened kind of all at once, and then I just saw what was working and I continued to do that, and that worked really well for a long time. And then when I transitioned over to Snapchat, like, I was wildly successful over there. So, you know, I things change. You have to evolve as a creator. That's the only way to keep your, you know, keep skin in the game. You have to consistently like see what's going on. And like, it's hard because you don't want to be a trend follower, but at the same time, you need to notice trends to see what you can do to contribute without doing the same thing everyone else is doing. And that is, I don't know. It's a tough thing to do. It's really hard. But the first step is posting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
like, what would you say to someone who's like posting consistently and they're just like stuck in like the no view jail? Like, what would be your piece of advice to like keep going?
Well, number one, just keep going. Don't let it discourage you. Don't let it discourage you, because like I also like hear from creators all the time. You would not believe the caliber of creators that come to me and say, you know, I started posting on Snapchat. I posted for 2 days. I didn't get a lot of views, so I stopped. And I'm like, dude, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to work at it. Like, this is not something that happens overnight. It's something like nobody's going to hand you anything either. Like, I think people are kind of under the assumption that like the algorithm chooses who's going to be famous and who's not. But like, you really got to put the work in. Like, people, you look at like Tara Yummy, for example. Like, people think that she just popped out of nowhere, but she's been doing YouTube videos for years. Do you know what I mean? And it just kind of happens at the right time, if that makes sense. But you really have to put in the work and be consistent. And, you know, obviously there are some people like Haktua or whatever that get famous literally out of thin air. But that's kind of the beauty of social media, is that the landscape, it's like the Wild West, and you really can kind of do whatever you want and make it your own. But I recommend also just doing things that make you happy, even if it's not like the traditional things that you're seeing on your For You page. Like if you enjoy sewing or creating clothes or whatever, post that. It doesn't matter if only 5 people are interested, because those 5 people will share it with other people that are interested, and then that's how you build a community of people that love what you're doing. Like nobody's gonna fall in love with you for, you know, doing a lip sync trend that everyone else is doing. You know what I mean? You can incorporate that, but that shouldn't be like the main thing that you're doing. Like you have to find something that's yours and make a space for yourself in the landscape.
Look at this business masterclass we've entered.
I know, Steph. I'm like, we should be writing notes right now.
I know, like, fuck. I was just saying to Emma right before this, I was like, I don't understand like what time to post anything. And I was like, is there a rationale to any of this, or is it all random? The world may never know.
People say that there is. That's such a hard thing, because I honestly don't know. I'll post whenever. I mean, if it's 2 a.m, I'm probably not going to post a TikTok. Right. I post whenever. Like, even brands will say to me, post during your most engaged hours. And I'm like, I don't know when that is.
You're like, what even is that?
I just say, like, 12, you know? Yeah. Like, I don't know.
How's noon?
Actually, I think the best time, you have to think, too. When you're on TikTok, it's all kids watching before and after school. So, like, 12 is, like, the best time on the West Coast. Oh, wait, no. How does time zones? Yeah. 12, because it's 12 on the West Coast and 3 on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So East Coast kids are getting out of school, and the West Coast kids are on their lunch break, and then they'll be getting out in a few hours, and they'll probably see your content still. So, or like, 3 also is good, because then it's 3 and 6. So there's like a few hours where you can kind of rationalize. But at the end of the day, if a video is going to go viral, it's not going to go viral because of the time you posted it. You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah. It's like things will, right, 100%. It's kind of freeing in that way. It's like, yeah, sure. Like, there might be something to it. There also just might not. And again, we're just repeating ourselves, but it's like, just post. Like, just whatever. I suppose we must get to our last question. Sad. Wait, wow, last question ever on Lattes with Lucy. This has been a really amazing journey.
Okay. So this last one is from Zoe, and she is from Boston. I am a month into uni, and in one of my class discussions, I got paired up with a guy I think is kind of cute. Eventually, I got his Instagram. After a few days, I was hesitating about whether I should DM him, but then he DM'd me first. He sounded very chill and funny, however, he texted too fast. Like, I swear I'm a humorous person, but I couldn't catch up with his jokes. He ended up going back to study, and I feel like a dummy for not being as quick-witted or like a boring person that makes him want to stop talking to me. Am I getting friend-zoned early? How can I be more interesting in terms of talking with people?
I don't mean to laugh, but I so relate to this. You're like, no,
it's such an honest question.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an honest. I'm laughing out of understanding. Emma, you haven't started. We'll let you start.
It's kind of like a 2-part question. Like the question that she's ending with is like, how do I be more of like a humorous person? But then there's also the component with this guy. First of all, I would not put a ton of weight over DMs of someone. Like, I do not put a ton of weight on texting in general. Every single person texts completely different. Like, honestly, like, I'm very short in text. I'm not much of a texter, and like, people have said to me, are you mad at me? When I'm nowhere near mad at them, I was just like busy with something else at the same time. So it could truly just be busy. The way people punctuate, I know some people look into that from a very granular lens, whether they put a period or an exclamation point. Like, at the end of the day, I really think texting does not mean anything. I think if you really want to see if you guys connect, you should meet in person, especially when it comes to like his humor and being quick-witted. See what that chemistry like is in person. Like, maybe he is super funny, and maybe your sense of humor is different. It's not necessarily about whether you can match him. It's whether does he match you? You know, like every single person is different and every single person has different kind of chemistry, and that's okay. But I really wouldn't put too much judgment on this until you spend more time with him in person. That's my first thought.
I completely agree. In psychology, we call this catastrophizing. So literally, you guys meet in class, okay? You're like, I hope he DMs me. He does. You then have a really cute exchange. He's being funny with you. And then he goes back to study. Like, honey, like, maybe he got a phone call from his mom and then you like realize, oh fuck, I gotta get back to, like, don't hold someone's probable ADD against them. You know what I mean? This could literally just be like someone was like, I get it though. There's nothing worse than like when you're in an active, like, not to date me, but like it feels like an instant messaging. Like we're on AOL, it's AIM, it's before Alyssa was born, you know, like there's nothing like the instant, like back and forth. And then when it stops, it's so easy to read into that as having weight, as Emma said, but it literally is. My therapist always, I'm laughing because I'm like, this is me in a question. My therapist always reminds me to say to myself, like, what else could be true? Because my brain immediately just like assumes the worst in people, not because I think like the world's against me, just because my brain is like broken. And I love my friends and I love everyone I talk to. It's not about them, it's about me. My point is like, what else could be true? Like, yes, sure. Maybe one possibility is that he was like, oh, you know what? She's not quick-witted enough. You know, she passed this test of who can be the funniest over text in our first exchange. And that's it. She's out. Like, even saying it out loud, like, it's like, that's not it. And I say that with so much love. I'm not trying to make fun of you. But it's like, realistically, like 999 other things happened in that moment. And you're fine. And the other thing, too, is realizing, like, I'm realizing, too, so much lately that like how much negative thinking or like going with the worst case scenario fucks us. Like we all know that, like no shit. But if you really think about it, if for instance you choose to believe what your brain is telling you, which is like, oh, like it's over, I fucked it up, like it's done, then it will be done. But if you calm yourself down, like rework that negative thought pattern, come back to earth, it'll be fine. Like don't self-sabotage it before it's over. And how can I be more interesting in terms of talking with people? Girl, you already are. He DM'd you immediately after class. Like, you're already doing everything great. I understand feeling like not super adept at texting. I get it. It's an art. Honestly, though, I'm really good at texting. I love texting. And I feel like, first of all, like, it's not that impressive of a skill. And second of all, I feel like the people that are the best at texting are usually not very interesting in real life. Not to shit on myself, but you know what I mean? Like, how many times do you match on an app and the banter over text is amazing and then in person it's like crickets? Like, I don't put so much weight. That was a really convoluted, like, strange way to, like, put myself down. I think I'm great. But my point is that being great at texting isn't everything. It's a cute skill. It's an interesting skill. But as Emma said, let's put it to real life. I don't know how to talk like a Gen Z. Just meet in real life. Thank you. Alyssa?
Yeah, I agree with what both of you guys said. Like, I just feel like, number one, mindset is important. It actually made me very sad that you said, how can I be more interesting? Because it really, like you guys said, it's not you. Like, it really is just one of those situations where, like, I'm funny as fuck. But some people don't think I'm funny because first of all, I also text terrible. Like, I'm the type to send, like, a thumbs up instead of okay. Like, I'm, like, terrible. I text, like, a 60-year-old dude. Like, it's actually really bad. Like, I don't even know. I text like this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not good at it. And also, The Office is my favorite show. So that's where I derive my sense of humor from. And not everyone gets that. So, like, when I meet someone and we don't have chemistry, and this goes for friends. Like, usually I'll meet people and I can click with anyone. There are some people I have met where I'm like, damn, like, we really just have nothing to talk about. And I don't understand, like, one joke that you're making. And that's okay, because not everybody is the exact same. And so, yeah, it's not a you thing. And also, there's so many fish in the sea, and did she say a junior in college? Or high school?
No, she said she's a month into uni. So she's a freshman.
A month into uni.
A month into, yeah. Oh my God. This is like the first person that you've saw and been like, oh damn, like, you know, they're good looking. Like, you will find so many people, and there will be someone where, like, you both are just laughing your asses off, and it'll be amazing, and you won't even think about this interaction. And it could be with this person once you, like, really spend time with them. Like, you never know. So it's not you. You're amazing and you're great, and you're so funny, and I bet you're so interesting. So
I agree. I'm rereading it. I think as I reread it, it says he ended up going back to study. So maybe, again, we need context. This is like the classic joke of the show. It's like, we always need more information. Like, so my answer was coming from a place of like, oh, he just like stopped responding. Maybe what happened was he was like, all right, I gotta go. Like maybe he cut it off. But again, I think all of our advice like still applies, that like, even if he ended it short, much like Alyssa's saying, like thumbs up, like sometimes people just end things abruptly and there's no there. It's just a style of communication.
Or like maybe he was like, oh, this is my first time talking to her. I don't want to do too much.
Yes! Wait, that's a great point. Maybe he was like, all right, I'm too eager. I'm too overeager. Like, that's such a good point. It was like, because when he was like saying when you said he was texting too fast, I was like, oh, she's going to be saying that like he was too overeager and it was too much. And because I like it. Yeah, she got the ick. And then, oh wait, we've solved it. He was trying to play it cool. Done. Case closed.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons I hate texting, because I feel like there's so many games involved too. Like, I literally, I've talked to people that calculate how many minutes it's been since the last person texted them and won't text them back a minute before that. Because they don't want to seem too eager.
You're lying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In their 20s, they do that. It's crazy. I'm like...
Wait, Alyssa, how old are you? Can you say? Do you care?
I turned 25 in January.
Oh, look at her. That's amazing.
Hello, Capricorn. I remember that.
Love. Oh my God. Alyssa, if you're comfortable, I'd love to end. Do you have a question you want to pose to the group? Like, what would you write in? It does not have to be like super deep.
What question would I write in to Lucy?
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, I guess I would say like, who should I pick, Reed or Isaac? But I already did that.
Oh wait, well, who would you? Okay, Ella aside, Alyssa, who would you choose? Also, I'm gonna put Easton in there too.
Oh my God. Okay. I feel like it's a little unexpected, but me personally, I would choose Easton.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Me too. I wear my Team Easton sweatshirt.
You need the funny guy.
I love funny guys, and I also love, like, the person that's just, like, an asshole to everyone, but, like, they'll kill for you. And, like, I feel like it's that too, but, like, he's not as funny as Easton, obviously. You could train Easton to be exactly how you want, and that's what I want.
I so agree. Like, you can train Easton to be a better guy. I don't think you can train Reed to be funny.
No, you can't train him to be funny, and also he's going to do shit you don't like. I feel like Easton's the type where you say, like, don't do that again, bad boy. And he goes, yes, I won't do that again. And that's
I can like feel Chris Cafaro getting offended.
Actually, they asked me this when I did the Royal Boys podcast, and I said Easton also, and Chris was so upset.
Oh, no.
Nick was living it up, though. He was like, hell yeah.
That's so funny. Wow.
What about between Isaac and Reed?
Honestly, Reed, because Isaac gives me, it's actually so strange, because when I was reading the script, I was like, damn, Isaac kind of gives me me personally, the ick, like, just like the type of dude, like no shame, no nothing, because obviously, like, they're just so kind and so sweet, but like, I feel like when you're like kind of like rough around the edges, you don't necessarily want someone that's nice and sweet all the time. But it's so weird because too, like, I didn't feel like when I was shooting like the scenes with him, I didn't think that I would when I was recording the scenes with him, I like didn't think that I would have like as much of like an emotional reaction as I do when I record the scenes with like Reed and we're like screaming at each other or whatever. And I remember the most unexpected like point where I had to say like, I had to do this voiceover line where I said like, even after I broke his heart, he looked at me like I was his favorite person in the world. And I couldn't get through that line. I started bawling my eyes out. It was so embarrassing. I was like, you're joking me. So I would pick Reed, but Isaac is just so special. Any lady would be lucky to have him.
Also, low-key, Edgar was so fucking wise. I don't know if any of you got a chance to listen to the episode that came out in real time this week, though obviously when this episode airs, it will be weeks from now. He's just like a 99-year-old Buddha in the shape of a 20-something male. Truly the wisest.
We were sitting, and I think we were like on break, and we were sitting there, and we had a conversation. I can't remember what words he was using, but he used, and I used big words too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm a college graduate.
That's right.
He used a word so like that I've never heard. I literally looked at him. I said, "Where the fuck did you learn that word?" Like I was like, dude, I sound so like not eloquent next to you. Like, come on. Don't ever put us on a podcast together. He'll make me sound real dumb. He's so wise and he's so like intelligent.
It was so funny because it's like, I feel like Emma is very like chill, very grounded, and I'm like this like neurotic Jew. And then like he comes on and he's like, I have a ritual with my coffee. I'm like, what the fuck?
He's so cute. I love him so much. He's just so cute. He's the best.
He's the best. Wow. I mean, is this it? Sad.
I know,
have we reached the end?
To end?
Alyssa, we don't know yet when we will be reunited for season 3. Theoretically, it's happening hopefully soon. And I just want you to know that I cannot wait for the hug that we will share when we are back together again.
I'm so excited. I love that photo of us, and I'm just like...
I know, Alyssa's like a tomato sopping, and I'm like, my daughter! When we met, we've talked about this before, but like when I really can't stress enough, Alyssa, like it was this very effortless connection. It was very weird. It was like, oh yeah, like safety, done.
Yeah, no, we're the same person. That's why, like, you're like the one side of the brain, and I'm the other side, and
yes,
this coexist.
And together, worlds collide. Yeah, it's amazing.
The stem just keeping us together.
Yes,
the voice of reason.
I am honored to be that stem.
Yes, you are the trunk of tree of life, of the trunk of the tree of life. Okay.
I just want to be quiet and keep hearing more metaphor stuff.
I'll just keep going. Alyssa, in your life right now, what is, just to end on like a fun, what's not really a fun note, but a pensive note, is there like any kind of affirmation or just kind of like words to live by that you're kind of clinging to right now? In just like whatever phase of life you're currently in, like what are you kind of constantly telling yourself to get through the day?
Well, I tell myself I'm a bad bitch every single day.
That's
like
it.
Whether it's out loud or in my head, I always say that. And even like sometimes like I'll walk into a room and like all the thoughts, like, oh, like especially like when it comes to auditions and stuff, like, oh, there's gonna be people better looking than me, there's gonna be people like can act better than me, like whatever. You walk into the room, and the thing is, you have to do it with grace. You have to be humble, and you have to tell yourself you're a bad bitch. Like I never ever want to like tell myself, like, 'cause sometimes you could tweak in your brain and then be like, oh, I'm better than other people. I never ever want to cross that threshold, because one, it's so apparent, two, it's self-sabotage. But like I just try to tell myself that, what will come to me will come to me. There's been like so many opportunities where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm going to book this job or I'm going to do this. And then I don't. And instead of like putting myself down and being like, why didn't I get this? Blah, 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 blah. Who got it instead? Like, it's more so about like inviting the universe to give you the opportunities and the guidance that you need to grow and move forward. And the things that are meant for you will present themselves. Was that too much? Too long of an affirmation?
No.
Perfect.
That was perfect. You're a bad bitch, but a humble bitch.
Yes, bad and humble.
Title of ep.
Bad and humble. That's a great episode title. I'm going to steal that.
Also, Alyssa, if you haven't auditioned for the Legally Blonde show, I hope you do, because hello.
I'm planning on it, but to be honest, that was one of the moments where I'm like, it's okay, you're a bad bitch. I was doing it, and I was like, fuck this, I can't do it. Like, I was just so, like, I couldn't get the lines right.
I know, it felt like so much pressure.
So much pressure, and then you see on TikTok all the other girls that are like, I'm auditioning to play Elle Woods, and they look exactly like Reese Witherspoon, and I'm like, fuck.
See, I feel like you do.
I feel like you do.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, but I'll take it.
I definitely do. I definitely see it.
For
the very last time, we don't want your questions anymore because it's over.
That's a good point. I should have written that.
I'll make a new outro on the fly. Well, thank you all so much for participating in this experiment that was Lattes with Lucy. It literally meant the world to me, Stephanie Sherry, who plays Lucy and also is her inside and out. And Emma, I mean, wow, like the dynamic duo that is us will forever live in infamy online. And I am really just so appreciative. I really hope that the fans got something out of it. For anyone listening that just felt like it was a fun thing to listen to or in any way inspiring, we appreciate you. And Alyssa, I mean, no better person to end the show with than our leading lady. So thank you so much for being here, and continue to listen and keep an eye out for season 3.
Yeah, stay tuned. News is coming soon. That's all I can say.
Coming soon.